A very good morning to you from Kathmandu in Nepal. I am here because I'm attending my first ever photography workshop hosted by the Royal Society. And in this video, I am going to take you behind the scenes of what it's like to take part in a photography workshop in a very interesting destination. On the back of my camera, let me show you, I've got a sticker. Can you see that? So this sticker is from Japan, and in Japan, when you pass your driving test, you have to put that sticker on the back of your car for a certain amount of time afterwards to signify that you are a learner. And the reason I've got that sticker on this camera as well as this camera is to remind myself that I am always a learner. And no matter how big my social media profile is or how good I think I am, I'm always a learner. So this is exactly why I've jumped on this opportunity to attend a photography workshop that is in a slightly different location to what I'd normally shoot, with a different approach to photography compared to what I'd normally be looking for, let's just say. Now, for full transparency, the Royal Society has sponsored this video. The workshop fees have been covered by them, so has the hotel. The flights I covered myself. And in exchange, they asked me to use my platform and showcase to you who they are, what they offer, with the aim to bring more people to their profile, to get more people to join the Royal Society and grow their community. So let's go and take some photos. The weather is absolutely fantastic. That's one thing I need to say. I've been here for a week and a half. I've not really shot much because I've been inside working, but every day it's like guaranteed sunshine. I can't remember the last time I've been somewhere outside of maybe the Middle East or the Mediterranean in summer where it's been guaranteed sunshine like this. But anyway, I'm waffling too much, so let's go shoot. I decided to arrive in Kathmandu a day before the workshop officially started, just so I can get a feel for the place. Now, my first impressions are chaos, color, light, and textures. All of these elements are available in abundance. I've never been somewhere that's been so consistently sunny every single day. I don't recall a single cloudy day after being here now for over 10 days. As for camera gear, I'm using my Sony a7R5 for all the photography and the video that you're watching right now. When it comes to lenses, 99% of this trip was photographed on the 24-70. As much as I love my primes, when you're somewhere this chaotic with so much going on, with having to shoot wide to get the entire scene and then having to punch in for the textures and the details, the zoom is just invaluable. The first day started with a brief theory session about Kathmandu, specifically how to go about photographing this city, the things to look out for, the details, the people, the textures, and just giving everyone an overview of what to expect while here. So what is the Royal Society? We don't have time to go into every single detail in this video, but I can give you very kind of 3 basic bits of information to give you some flavor. The first bit is it's a huge global community of like-minded people. Now, when I first started photography, I remember it was very difficult meeting people, because if you don't have a big social media following and you already do a pretty lonely hobby such as street photography, it can be hard to meet people. And by having this community, it just gives you access to people literally all around the world, but also it's a melting pot of every possible skill level, every possible discipline, genre, and approach to photography. In this group, you have people who've documented wars, who've photographed for National Geographic, for newspapers, magazines, travel photographers, people you already follow probably on social media. There's a huge community there. And it's a very supportive one. So if you share your work, you won't get big egos trying to tear you down. It's a very supportive group of people that's growing very quickly. The second aspect of Royal Society is education. So you have webinars, you have guest speakers, you have educational material, you have newsletters, you have a bunch of material covering street and documentary photography to help you learn, to help you progress in your own journey. And the final aspect is the live in-person aspect. So these workshops, there's going to be a big photography gallery exhibition thing in Spain next year. You also have things like, for example, if you have a very important photography project covering a very dear and important, let's just say, thing that's going on in the world, you can apply for funding. And if you think this is strong enough or big enough to create a huge project around, you can gather funding from other people, other Royal Society members, to make that project come to life. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to get into now because we don't have time, so I've linked them down below, so please check them out. And that's all for this spiel. One thing that's not clearly mentioned in the video so far is the fact that each lunchtime and evening we are going through the photos we've taken from the today and previous day. We're also doing theory sessions covering color theory, image pairings, storytelling, and a bunch of different things. Therefore, as we're doing this workshop, we're learning new things, we're given new challenges, and all of our images from the day are reviewed with feedback given. Now, another interesting aspect of this workshop is the locations and access. Now, so far, all the places you've seen, you can go there with a quick Google search and it's open to the public. However, because Christelle and Jorge have been doing these workshops for so long, they've built up relationships with locals. So this next place you can't really access as a general member of public, and you need to know someone who can gain you access. And this was by far my favorite part of the workshop. Well, we've just arrived in Bhaktapur, which is a small town located about an hour's drive from Kathmandu. Interesting fact, the entire center part of the town is a World Heritage Site, but more on this later in the video. I want to take this moment though to reflect on some of the things that I have personally learned. And I would say by far the biggest lesson and the biggest kind of thing that I am going to take away from this workshop so far is the way I approach my photography with regards to storytelling as opposed to social media. So up until now, even though I do try to tell stories with my images, for the most part, my photography has always been about taking nice photos which look good on their own that you can share on social media. However, spending time with these guys has made me really rethink this approach. So let me give you a real world example of something that I will actually implement when I get back home. When I look at my photo library, my images are organized by star ratings. So a 5-star image is an Instagram banger, 4 stars is very good, 3 stars is good, 2 is acceptable, 1 is just a filler image. However, when they organize their photos, they have the photos organized by establishing shots, subject shots, food shots, details, and a bunch of other things that they can kind of rely upon when they piece together a story at the end. So rather than just saying, okay, this is an amazing image, it's going into the magazine, into the book, or whatever, they instead look at it from an angle of, does this image establish the scene? Does it tell a particular story about something, or does it showcase something? Another thing that I've learned is photo pairings. Whereas previously I would not put a huge amount of thought into how I pair or how I sequence my images, especially yesterday, having spent a day looking at photo pairings, I've looked at them, I can see them now in a much deeper way, in the sense of it's not just these 2 photos were taken in this particular location, but it's more, does this photo complement that photo? There's one thing they said in the presentation, and that is a good photo pairing is like 1 + 1 = 3, in the sense that you can have 2 photos which are not particularly strong, but when you pair them together, they become something a lot more powerful than a single image. Equally, you can have 2 very strong images, but then when you pair them together, they become something that's not as strong as a pairing. Last but not least, what's been very interesting for me is that, I'm a photographer. For me, I go out and I take nice pictures, and that's generally as far as it goes. With these guys, they don't go out looking for nice pictures, they go out to tell a story. So for them, it starts with, what story do I want to tell? And then they go out and get the photos that would help tell that story. Now, for some of them, the story is documenting the war in Ukraine. For other people, the story might be documenting how their town has changed over the last 5 years. For other people, the story might be something a lot simpler than that. It might be just, how do I document this particular experience or whatever it is that I'm doing? And whereas previously I would just go out and get nice photos and then think of, what am I going to do with them? How do I put them into something more cohesive? I think now, certainly for my next big trip, I'm going to try to do it the other way around, where I want to start with, what is the story that I want to tell, plan it out, and then try to figure out what types of photos do I want to get in order to bring that story to life. And I think that's going to be a very interesting experiment. It's certainly going to be an experiment that I will be documenting on this channel over the next year or 2, because some of these might take a little bit longer. Okay, this was a very quick chat to you, but now the clouds are clearing and I am going to go out into Bhaktapur. It's our last day here, and I'll see what photos I can get.
I think we started the Raw Society a little bit for our own benefit. One of the biggest projects that I had around 2016 was to come here to Nepal to document a year after the earthquake that they had here. There was lots of things going on, and we fell in love with each other and with the country, and we thought it could be interesting to bring people to experience photography in a way that is going to be more storytelling driven, and to experience these places in a way that was similar to us, and that became something bigger. We started to go to all the places and to get deeper into the idea of teaching storytelling and giving people the chance to have an experience of how it feels to go to these incredible places and try to understand them and to share a bit of those stories with whoever wants to listen.
The Raw Society is really aimed at anyone who is interested in photography, particularly street documentary and travel photography. It's thought for someone who's just bought a camera and wants to start getting into photography, all the way through to professionals who already might have a career in photography. And the reason for this is that we offer a number of different things within our community. So obviously the number one thing is being a part of a greater community and being supported by this community and ourselves, of course. But then, generating joint projects, being a part of exhibitions and the magazine that I mentioned. So it's really for anyone and everyone who wants to feel a part of something that's larger than themselves.
I think that our plans is to having more resources for people, tools for whoever that wants to grow in photography, whatever that means. So as Christelle said, there will be some people that are very new, but still they think that they have something to say, and we want to give them the tools for that. And if you're going to be a photographer with more experience, to give more opportunities to show your work, to be out there and to do networking, and all those things, which is more or less what we already have, but more bigger and with a bigger network and all that stuff.
They can find us on Instagram, the Raw Society, the _raw_society, on our website, which is therawsociety.org, on YouTube. We've got a Substack as well, so a quick search for the Raw Society and you'll have a number of different places where you can find us.